Oh boy, it's going to be one of those videos. Hello everyone, welcome back to my second video of the day. And whilst I'm super happy about Neil Patrick Harris being in Doctor Who, I felt the need to talk a little bit about how this news has been received by the fan base and sort of to open up a bit of a discussion about how certain people have been approaching this new era. I'm not going to have the subscriber spiel at the beginning because, you know, this is a serious video, but if you want to subscribe, feel free. We do regular Doctor Who content here on the channel, and I promise it's not always this serious. But obviously, as you know, today, Neil Patrick Harris got announced to be taking part in the Doctor Who 60th anniversary celebrations, and this was met with widespread excitement among the fan base. You know, Neil Patrick Harris is a very, very beloved actor. How I Met Your Mother, a series of unfortunate events. I think he was in the Matrix films at one point. Very, very accomplished actor. But unfortunately, not everyone's felt this way. There are some people who seem to take any time that this era announced something as some sort of personal attack on them, and specifically on the Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall era of Doctor Who, the outgoing era of Doctor Who, the one that's ending with the centenary special in October. And this argument baffles me. It genuinely baffles me because this happens every time. Things being announced about the next era before the outgoing Doctor has had a chance to leave is something that's happened like every single time in the last 10 or so years. So it's super weird to me that people keep treating these recent RTD announcements as like a new thing when they're not. They happen every single time. I made a joke on Twitter saying, can't believe they announced Matt Smith and Karen Gillan in Doctor Who almost a year before Tennant leaves. Stop overshadowing David. Because that's the level of argument we're dealing with here. They are arguing against what is essentially the natural progress of the show. And this annoys me. This annoys me because this era, this RTD2 era, has brought on more excitement among fans like myself than I've felt for Doctor Who in a very long time. And to see it being treated in such bad faith, I think is ridiculous. I've seen some people genuinely say that they're going to deliberately nitpick and try and be mean towards Russell era because of the criticism 13's era got. And my response to that is, no one, or at least not any of the people I know, went into the Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall era with the expressed desire to hate it. Most of us gave it a fair crack at the whip. I've watched all of it, and granted, it hasn't worked for me as well as it's worked for others, but there are some things this era has done that I've genuinely liked. I never went into a series of the show, Chris Chibnall included, wanting to hate it. But it almost feels to me like there are some fans out there going into this new era with that mindset, specifically because it's not the era that they like. It's not the 13th Doctor, it's not Chris Chibnall. And this constant idea that Jodie's somehow being overshadowed or sort of being, you know, taken advantage of in some way is ridiculous because, as I said, not only does it happen every time, but Jodie's been wrapped filming for months and months and months. The centenary is another 4 months away. We've had no marketing for it. Now is literally the perfect dead gap to drop things like this. Things that get the general public invested, things that get them excited. So why would you deliberately want to handicap the show's ability to reach more people, the show that you're claiming that you love and stan and support, purely because you don't want other parts of a show that's famously known for being changed every couple of years, to put attention on the other parts of the show? And this, isn't just exclusive to when Russell's taken over. I have been quite vocal about how the 10th Doctor was on a lot of media before he came back, before he was announced to be coming back, and how, you know, he kind of overshadowed 13 in a sense. And I do stand by that original point. But I saw this argument when literally any other Doctor was on any other piece of merchandise ever. I saw people be like, yes, the current Doctor, as if having merchandise with other Doctors on it was somehow a new thing. It comes back to that thing I was saying before. For whatever reason, these fans have it in their heads that Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall, whoever, constantly the victims of everyone else, when in reality, Russell's been nothing but kind and cordial towards the current era, which is what makes this vitriolic response from some fans completely nonsensical to me. He's sung the praises of the centenary, he's sung the praises of Jodie Whittaker, he's deliberately kept his announcements till the last minute, till they're filming the day before he drops them, and yet still, somehow, it's not enough. You know, I even saw someone say, oh, they should just film inside. They should just film inside until Jodie leaves in October. And that baffles me because, what, you really expect them to just do all inside shooting for what is the majority of the year simply because you don't want any other Doctor Who being talked about other than the bit you like? That's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I've seen people get weirdly personal towards Russell for this. I've seen people call Russell a liar because, oh, he said, he was going to try and be as quiet as possible until Jodie left in October. But he's not. He's still doing that. He's literally waited as late as he could to announce these things because they'll be spotted in public soon after. That's exactly what happened with David Tennant and Catherine Tate. And yet still people aren't satisfied. I get it if you're upset about a Doctor you love, an era you love ending, and a Doctor leaving. I get it. We all go through it. But I've just never seen this level of vitriol towards the natural progression of the show. Maybe I have just been living under a rock. Maybe this happens every time. But it certainly seems more heightened this time around. And the only thing I can think of as to why is because, yes, unfortunately, there were some people who, when Jodie's era started, were very, very unfair towards her before Jodie's era even started. They were basically decrying it as a failure because they cast a woman, and I completely disagree with that. But that doesn't justify personally attacking the people involved with the show currently. It doesn't justify it. Just because you like an era of a TV show doesn't make you morally correct. And I honestly believe that if all you're going to do in the next couple of months, in the next couple of years, as Russell stuff gets announced, as Russell stuff keeps happening, before it even airs, is complain because it's not the thing you want announced, then just leave. That's honestly my advice to you would be, just leave, because people aren't going to stop marketing the show just because it's not what you want to be marketed. I'm sorry, but the world doesn't revolve around what you want. There are things that they're announcing that aren't current era stuff. There is things that are being filmed that aren't current era stuff. The current era has had 3 series, which you are free to enjoy and love and do whatever with. But the show carries on. That's part and parcel for the gig. Jodie Whittaker knows that. Jodie Whittaker's fine with that. She was told about Ncuti before they went on the red carpet. Why are you trying to make out like she's been treated unfair? This is exactly how it's happened every other time. Yeah, okay, there's been some bigger announcements because it's the 60th, I'll concede that. But what do you expect them to do? Make a really low-key, boring 60th just so that Jodie isn't quote-unquote overshadowed? Like, no. Why should they? Why should they temper what their creative vision is purely to satisfy your weird needs? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think it's the entitlement that gets me. It's the entitlement to feel as though you have complete say over what should be released about Doctor Who and what shouldn't be purely down to your personal tastes. There's a difference between not liking something once you've seen it and just straight up trying to hate it just for the sake of hating it. And it's just such a ridiculous argument these people have been trying to spread. And I just really needed to get it off my chest because it was really annoying me. But thank you all for watching this sort of rant video. Be sure to like it if you enjoyed, comment down below your thoughts and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later. Shout out to Debs Iona, Shane Smith, Ree Keffin, Seb Lowndes, Jay Monroe, Hash Shandycoot, Patrick Mewson, Simon Ashley, Steve Safaro, Andrew Townsend, Alex Robbins, Michael Dykes, Paul Bryden, Sam Yates, Michael Rhodes, Jerry the Meerkat, Heretic, Cameron Jefferson, John M, Andrew Evanson, Lucy, Josh Keck, JM97, Captain Obvious, Gallifrey and Rob, Cliff's Random Silliness, Kyle McCroy, Nova Wolf Gaming, Carol Jude. If you want to become a member, feel free to do so. It really helps out. You get exclusive posts, shout outs in every video, and even your own badge and custom emojis to use.